Welcome you to my video on the 8th video on narration. In the earlier 7 videos, we learned how to change narration of different types of sentences, assertive, imperative, interrogative, etc. And today onwards, we will discuss the sentences that actually came in final examinations, in the 12th board final examination conducted by Assam Higher Secondary Education Council. I have a collection of questions that came in 2004, from 2004 to 2020. All these questions are there. So we will discuss those questions that came in the final examination. But what you have to keep in mind is that what practice we did earlier were all on just a single sentence with inverted commas. But in the 12th board final examination, the reported speech is usually made up of more than one sentence. Within the same inverted comma, you will find one assertive sentence, another imperative sentence, or one interrogative sentence, another imperative sentence. Different types of sentences are there. So, whatever knowledge you gathered in earlier videos will have to be applied in solving these problems. And I am sure if you have learned those things well, then these things will not be that difficult. So, let us start then. In every year in the final examination of 12th exam, 2 questions are given on narration. And in 2004, this was the first question that came. The traveler said to the peasant, "Can you show me the way? Can you show me the nearest inn?" "Yes," said the peasant. Here, the first question, first part is a question asked by the traveler to the peasant, and the second part is the reply given by the peasant. So the first part is the interrogative sentence, and see how I have written within inverted commas. C is capital. Can, C capital. You have to keep this in mind. You have to practice like this. When inverted comma is there, you start a new sentence. The first letter should be capital. The traveler said to the peasant, "Can you show me the nearest inn?" So this can will become could. The traveler asked the peasant if he could. You, second person, is changed into the object of the reporting verb, the peasant. We already have used the word peasant once. That is why we have used it as pronoun here, he. The traveler asked the peasant if he could show me. Me is the first person word used in object form. And first person word, it means that in direct narration it was that subject of the reporting verb. So the traveler asked the peasant if he could show him. The traveler is the third person. Instead of the traveler, we have written its object form in pronoun him. If you could show him the nearest inn. And what was the reply given by the peasant? The peasant gave reply in a single word. Yes, he said. This is very important. If you find yes, then in the answer you have to write replied in the affirmative or replied in the positive. And if the answer is no, then you have to say replied in the negative. So here it is replied in the affirmative or in the positive. You have to write either of these 2 words. Don't write both. I have written both for your understanding. In the examination you write in the affirmative or in the positive. Let us see the sentence again. The traveler said to the peasant, "Can you show me the nearest inn?" "Yes," said the peasant. The answer is, the traveler asked the peasant if he could show him the nearest inn. The peasant replied in the affirmative. This was the first sentence that came in 2004, and now we will go for the second sentence. She said to her son that she was old and lonely, and asked him if he had no pity on her loneliness. This question is given in indirect narration. We have to make it direct. And what we have to observe very well is that firstly she said to her son. She said to her son. This means that this part is assertive. And then afterwards you find an asked. This means that after the word asked, the next part was actually an interrogative sentence. So the woman, she used 2 sentences to her son. The first sentence was an assertive sentence because said to is there. And the second part is an interrogative sentence, asked is there, if is there. It means this will be an interrogative sentence, it will be a yes or type question. So, since it is the same woman who used both the sentences to the same person, her son, so both the sentences will be within the same inverted commas. There will be no change of inverted commas. She said to her son that she was old and lonely. This she, it is I. So I am old and lonely. She was old and lonely. It became, in the direct narration, it is I am old and lonely. This was the first part. Then there is a full stop. Second part that begins with asked. We have started a new sentence in yes no type question. If he had no pity on her loneliness. If means that in direct narration it started with an auxiliary. So if he had no pity, do you have no pity on my loneliness? Her loneliness became my loneliness. We could also have told it in this way. Don't you have any pity on my loneliness? Don't you have any pity on my loneliness? Or do you have no pity on my loneliness? So the two sentences will be very well identified here. Seeing the first reporting verb said, it means that this coming part is assertive. Then we found asked, it means the next part is interrogative. If is there, it means it is yes no type question. What is the yes no type question? If he had no pity, this part is simple past tense. This means that in the direct narration it was simple present tense, and if it is simple present tense, then yes no type question will begin with do or does. Since here the subject will be you, second person will be do. Let us see the sentence again. She said to her son that she was old and lonely and asked him if he had no pity on her loneliness. She said to her son, I am old and lonely. Do you have no pity on my loneliness? Then question mark, quotation is closed. These are very important parts. So these two questions came in 2004, and the next sentence that we will do is the one that came in 2005. This is the first question that came in 2005, and as far as our serial is concerned, this is number 3. Nothing can be avoided, said Caesar, which the gods have purposed. These omens appear to everyone, not only to Caesar. This may sound a bit difficult for you. This is actually a quotation from Shakespeare's play, Julius Caesar. And here you see, said Caesar. Caesar is the subject of the reporting verb, said is the reporting verb. Actually, in the simple way that you have learned earlier, this should have started like this. Caesar said, then quotation, Caesar said, nothing can be avoided which the gods have purposed. But I told you earlier that sometimes you find like this, that the reported speech is divided into some parts. It is divided into two parts here, you see. Said Caesar, what did Caesar say? Caesar's words, his statement is divided into two parts. Nothing can be avoided is not the complete statement. This avoided has its link with the words which. That is why here is the quotation, but W is given in small letter, not capital, because with this W it is not the beginning of a sentence. It is the continuation of the earlier part. So Caesar's statement is nothing can be avoided which the gods have purposed. This much is the complete sentence. So since we have identified that outside the quotation there is the reporting verb and now this is its subject, we will start with Caesar said that. So Caesar said that, then his statement, nothing can be avoided, it became nothing could be avoided, which the gods have purposed, it became which the gods had purposed. And Caesar did not stop here. He said another sentence, what is it? These omens appear to everyone, not only to Caesar. He was speaking about some omens. Omen may be a new word for you. Omen are some happenings which people consider to be conveying, it is carrying or indicating some good or bad things to happen. For example, if you are going to start a journey or you are going to do something new, start a business, etc., and then something bad happens in your life. You fall down and break your leg, something like this. Then people may think that when you are on the verge of starting a new thing, and at that time something unfortunate happened, this means that your business is not going to be something smooth. This incident of falling and hurting and breaking your leg, people will consider it a bad omen. One very popular bad omen in our society is when you see a cat crossing your road. You are going and you see a cat crosses your road. Many people are there who have superstitious beliefs. They think that this is a bad omen, that it indicates that the journey is not good. We may fall in, we may meet with some accident. So let us stop the journey. Let us postpone it. They retreat and then they start again as if earlier journey is cancelled, a new journey is started. Interestingly, somewhere I got this sentence, this statement by someone. The question was, what does it mean when you see a cat crossing your way? The answer was given in a very nice way. Answer is, it means nothing but the fact that the cat is also going somewhere. That's it. So this is called omen. Caesar was talking about some omens. He said these omens appear to everyone. Since his first statement we have written up to the word purposed. And then again earlier sentence was assertive. This one is again assertive. When you have both assertive sentences, you can just say he added, or he also said. He added, or he also said. Or even without using this he added or he also said, you can just say from here, those omens appeared to everyone, not only to Caesar. Those omens appeared to everyone, not only to Caesar, you can say. Or you can say, he added that those omens appeared to everyone, not only to Caesar. Or you can say, he also said that those omens appeared to everyone, not only to Caesar. Let us see the sentence again. That's the answer, question and answer again. Nothing can be avoided, said Caesar, which the gods had purposed. These omens appeared to everyone, not only to Caesar. Caesar said that nothing could be avoided which the gods had purposed. He added that those omens appeared to everyone, not only to Caesar. So this was the first question that came in 2005, and we will now do the second question that came in 2005. This is number 4. The teacher asked the student if he had prepared his lesson. The student replied politely that he had not. This is in indirect narration. The teacher asked. It means that in the direct narration the sentence will be interrogative. If is there, this means the sentence would be yes no type question. So the teacher said to the student, if he had prepared. The teacher asked the student if he, this he will be you. The teacher was speaking to the student, he used the second person word you. If he had prepared, it is past perfect tense. And if it is past perfect tense in the indirect narration, this means in the direct narration it was either present perfect tense or simple past tense. Now which one to use? Since there is no time phrase given, you have the freedom to use either present perfect tense or simple past tense, but it will be appropriate to use present perfect tense because the teacher is asking the student about his lesson. This should not be something of the past, it should be something recent. If the teacher is asking the student about learning his lesson, about his homework, it is something recent, so better to use present perfect tense. The teacher said to the student, have you prepared your lesson? The student replied politely. This politely I told you in one of my earlier videos. The word politely is used when you use sir or madam in the direct narration. So the student used the word sir and then he said that he had not. So the student said, no sir, I have not. You could have said the student replied also here, or the student said, no sir, I have not. Now the question is, the student replied politely that he had not. Here it could have been also said like this. The student replied politely in the negative. The student replied politely in the negative, or the student replied politely that he had not. Same thing. Now see the answer again. The teacher said to the student, have you prepared your lesson? The student said, no sir, I have not. I have told you that it is better to use present perfect tense here. If you use simple past, that is not also wrong. If you use simple past tense, then it would have been, did you prepare? Here it is, have you prepared? Past participle form of the main verb, because have is there, present perfect tense. If you used did you, then there will be no D after prepare. It will be, did you prepare? Have you prepared or did you prepare? And if you use did you prepare, then in the answer of the student also, the student said, no sir, I did not. If it is have you prepared, then no sir, I have not. If it is did you prepare, then no sir, I did not. Let us see the question and answer again. The teacher asked the student if he had prepared his lesson. The student replied politely that he had not. The teacher said to the student, have you prepared your lesson? The student said, no sir, I have not. This was the second question that came in 2005, and now we'll see the question that came in 2006 as well as in 12. The same question, set of questions came. This is the next one. This is a very long one. Hercules said the goddess of virtue, I offer myself to you. I know you are descended from the gods and that you have given proof of that by your love of virtue. Here you see, again, the reported speech is divided. The goddess of virtue is the subject of the reporting verb, and this said is the reporting verb. Simply, it could have started like this: the goddess of virtue said. Then, within inverted commas, Hercules, I offer myself. But instead of that, we earlier got another sentence like this. This first, a single word is used here, and then quotation again. It means this is a continuation. What is most important here is that this could have been said, the goddess of virtue said to Hercules. Instead of saying the goddess of virtue said to Hercules, you see, Hercules, the word is within inverted commas. This means the goddess of virtue actually, before she spoke her words, she addressed Hercules. There are two ways of asking someone to do something. You can ask someone, bring me a glass of water. You can say somebody. Or you can just use his name first. Ananto, give me a glass of water. It is the same Ananto whom you are asking to give you a glass of water. Two ways are there. One way is just you ask what you need. Another way is you first use the name, address the person, and then use your words. Here, this is what the goddess of virtue did. The goddess of virtue addressed Hercules. It means the goddess of virtue used the name of Hercules, and then said, I offer myself to you. That is why the answer is written in this way. Addressing Hercules, the goddess of virtue told him. Or you could say, the goddess of virtue addressed Hercules and told him. Or, if you don't want to use the word address, you could simply also say, the goddess of virtue told Hercules. Three ways are there. The goddess of virtue told Hercules, or the goddess of virtue addressed Hercules and told him, or the way I have written, addressing Hercules, the goddess of virtue told him that I offer myself. I is the first person, it will be changed into the subject of the reporting verb. The goddess, this is feminine gender, she. I will be she. Addressing Hercules, the goddess of virtue told him that she offered herself. I offer myself became she offered herself to you became to him. Then there is another statement by the goddess of virtue. What is it? I know, it means she knew. I know became she knew. You are descended became he was descended from the gods, and that you have given proof, and that he had given proof of that by your love of virtue. It became by his love of virtue. This part is not that difficult. Just how when someone's name is addressed and then something is said, how you have to do it, I have told you. Just let us see the question and answer again. Hercules said, the goddess of virtue, I offer myself to you. I know you are descended from the gods and that you have given proof of that by your love of virtue. Addressing Hercules, the goddess of virtue told him that she offered herself to him. She knew he was descended from the gods and that he had given proof of that by his love of virtue. This was the first question that came in 2004 and again came in 2012. The next question that we will find will be serial number 6. That also came in 2006 and again in 2012, and that one is the next one. This looks simple, but the beginning is something unusual. You see, when John asked Mary whether she would help him, she replied that she would. The beginning is with when. We found that yes, when this WH word may be in the inverted commas as a part of the reported speech, or when we change it into indirect narration, it may be used. But there, we never found this word at the beginning. So here actually this when has nothing to do with the change of narration. It will remain the same. When John asked Mary whether she would help him, When John said to Mary, we will start like this. When John said to Mary, whether she would help him. This ask implies this is indirect narration, and in the answer, in the direct narration, this ask implies that in the direct narration the sentence will be interrogative, first thing. Second thing, this is whether or if. These words imply that the question will be yes not a question. It will begin with an auxiliary. Whether she would help. When John was speaking to Mary, he asked Mary, he was talking to Mary, so he used the word you for Mary. So, she would. When we write it in the interrogative form, auxiliary will come before the subject. The subject she will be changed into you, and before this you, would will be used in the form of will. Would was used here to make it indirect. We are making it direct, so would will be replaced by will. In place of would, we will use will, and she would be changed into you, and their position will also be changed. Auxiliary will come first, then will come the subject. She will become will you. Whether she would help him, will you help me? And what was the reply given by Mary? She replied that she would. Now you see, she said, I will. When John asked Mary whether she would help him, she replied that she would. The answer is, when John said to Mary, will you help me? She said, I will. So this was the second question that came in 2006, and again it came in 2012. The next sentence that we will do will be the one that came in 2007. One question came in 2007. He said, I do not wish to see any of you. Go away. Two sentences are there. I do not wish to see any of you. This is assertive. And the second sentence is imperative. See the tone of the second sentence, the mood of the speaker. Go away. Go away, it may also mean you ask someone to go away. But here the first sentence tells us that the speaker was in an angry mood. I do not wish to see any of you. Go away. He said that he did not wish to see any of you. Here is the question. This you is second person in direct narration. This is the direct narration, and we all know that the second person word should be changed into the object of the reporting verb. But here you see, here there is no object. He said to whom, there is no mention. Who could be these people to whom this man was speaking? Just let us use our intelligence. He said, I do not wish to see any of you, go away. So this you could be a group of people, including me also. Now I am telling that he said like this, I was also there. Or it could be a group of people excluding me, I was not there. I just came to know this thing. So suppose I was there, in that case, he said that he did not wish to see any of us. If you suppose that no, I was not there to face this angry man, there are other people, in that case you use the word them. Both are okay. He said that he did not wish to see any of us, or he said that he did not wish to see any of them, and ordered them, or ordered us. If you had used us here, you will use us here again. If you have used them here, you have to use them here again. Don't write in this way, the way I have written. I have written just for your understanding. In the answer, you write either us or them, no bracket. So if you have used us there, it should be us here again. If it is them here, it should be them here again. And he said that he did not wish to see any of us or any of them, and ordered us or ordered them to go away. This ordered you could also use and asked us or told us. But I have used the word ordered depending on the tone of the man. He is in a very angry mood. He is saying go away. This is a kind of order. Let us see the question and answer again. He said, I do not wish to see any of you. Go away. He said that he did not wish to see any of us and ordered us to go away. Or he said that he did not wish to see any of them and ordered them to go away. So this was the only question that came in 2007, and the next question that we will do is the one that came in 2008. This was the first question that came in 2008. Rashmi Karna said, I have a very important matter to discuss with you today. You must give me your attention. Here again we have got two such questions earlier that actually Karna said to Rashmi. Instead of saying this, Rashmi, a word is within inverted commas. This means that Karna addressed Rashmi. He wanted to draw her attention by calling her name, by using her name. So in this way he said, Rashmi, I have a very important matter to discuss with you today. So earlier we did it like this, that addressing, you can write like that also, addressing Rashmi, Karna told her, or Karna addressed Rashmi and told her, or I have written this one differently so that you know that all are acceptable. Karna told Rashmi that I first person, what? It becomes the subject of the reporting verb. That he had a very important matter to discuss with you, second person. It will be the object of the reporting verb. Rashmi, it means her. Discuss with her. Today will become that day. You must give me your attention. This is another sentence he used. So when the first sentence itself is assertive, the second sentence again is assertive. When you are starting another assertive sentence, you better say he added, or he also said. He added that you, this you is second person, it means the object of the reporting verb, Rashmi, it means she. He added that she must, if it is must in the direct narration, in the indirect narration you can either use must or you can write had to. He added that she must give him, or she had to give him her attention. You must give me your attention. Give me your attention, it became give him her attention. Me is first person, object form, it means the subject of the reporting verb, Karna, object form, Karna is third person word, him, he will become him, your will become her. So let us see the question and answer again. Rashmi, Karna said, I have a very important matter to discuss with you today. You must give me your attention. Karna told Rashmi that he had a very important matter to discuss with her that day. He added that she must give him her attention. You could also say the answer in a different way. Addressing Rashmi, Karna told her that he had a very important matter to discuss with her that day. He added that she had to give him her attention. Or Karna addressed Rashmi and told her that, you can continue like that. So when you have this way of addressing, you have to take care that there are more than one ways and all are accepted, but you have to follow. When you write addressing or addressed, you have to follow grammar. This was the first question that came in 2008, and the next one will be the one that also came in 2008. This is number 9. The teacher ordered Joe to stand up and asked him why he had not prepared his lesson. He told him that he would write to his father. Here we have this narration, it is an indirect narration, and here there are 3 sentences spoken by the teacher to Joe. How do you know these 3 sentences and what are the types of sentences? First one is the teacher ordered. It means this part is an imperative sentence. What did he order? He ordered Joe to stand up. And we have found that in indirect narration we find that to comes and then the verb comes. So this part ordered is there. In direct narration order will be removed. And then we will start with the main verb. Imperative sentence begins with main verb. Order will be removed, to will be removed. We will write the teacher said to Joe, stand up. This is one thing, first sentence. Second sentence that the teacher said is an interrogative sentence. And asked, this asked tell us that the next part is an interrogative sentence. It is a question. What kind of question? WH question. There is no if or whether. WH question. Why he had not prepared his lesson? It is in past perfect tense. This means in direct narration, when the teacher asked the question to the student, to Joe, he used present perfect or simple past. And this is the second sentence that the teacher used. First one was an order, imperative sentence. Second one was a question, WH question. Third one is an assertive sentence. He told him, this he is the teacher, this him is Joe. He told him that he would write to his father. This he is the teacher and this he is Joe's father. He told him that he would write to his father. This is the third sentence that the teacher used. 3 sentences the teacher used for Joe. First, an order, imperative sentence, we know it from this word ordered. The second is a question, we know it from this word asked. And the third one is an assertive sentence. He told, from this we know it is an assertive sentence. So now let us see the answer. The teacher said to Joe, comma quotation, stand up. The teacher ordered Joe to stand up. This much is done. The teacher said to Joe, stand up. There is a full stop. Next, and asked him why he had not prepared his lesson. Why have you not prepared your lesson? We have used all these three sentences within the single inverted comma. It begins here and it ends here, and within the single inverted comma, three sentences are used. Why? Because it is the same person who has used all these three sentences, and it is the same person to whom these three sentences were used. So, within the single inverted comma, we have used three sentences. The teacher said to Joe, stand up. Why have you not prepared your lesson? Interrogative sentence, question mark is there. Next is, I shall write to your father, or I will write to your father. So let us see the question and answer again. The teacher ordered Joe to stand up and asked him why he had not prepared his lesson. He told him that he would write to his father. The teacher said to Joe, stand up. Why have you not prepared your lesson? I shall write to your father. In the last part, you don't be confused with this he, that this he is perhaps Joe, and he was telling the teacher no, because I will write to your father. No student will tell this to his teacher. It is the teacher, the same teacher who is telling this thing. He first ordered to stand up, then asked a question, then said something in assertive form. Stand up, why have you not prepared your lesson? I shall write to your father. So these are the ways you have to change narration for your higher secondary final examination. This is the first video, the 8th video so far as narration is concerned, and the first video of our exercise 1. Here we have done the questions that came in 5 years from 2004 to 2008, and all the questions we have discussed. And in the next video we will discuss the questions that came in the following year from 2009 and later on. So thank you very much for being with me, and pay attention to these things and try to understand these things, and let us meet again in the next video. Thank you very much.